Hi, beautiful being. I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Brittany, and today I'm going to share the second video in my financial freedom series. Last week, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I released my first video which shared my story of becoming what feels like financially free. And what that feels like to me right now as I access it is a feeling of abundance and freedom, playfulness, joy, open creation when linked to finances. I used to feel very differently about finances. I felt like I wanted for more money. I felt like money wasn't abundantly flowing in my life. It felt like a stagnant issue. It didn't feel like there was clean flowing energy in the realm of finances. And I feel so differently now. I feel so abundant. I feel free. I feel like I do what I want. I live the way that I want. And yeah, I don't feel like I want or need more money. I feel like what I have is perfect and what I'm always generating and growing into is perfect. I proposed on Instagram and on my last video for you to send any questions that you have along regarding financial freedom, maybe areas that you're feeling resistant or stuck. So please do feel free to comment that down below if anything is coming through for you right now. I'm going to create one more video in the series, and who knows, your question may inspire another future video as well. Through the numerous questions I received, I feel like I can basically break down what I feel could be the most helpful for you into two big topics. Today's first topic will be around belief and changing core beliefs, and also following your internal guidance, your intuition. And the next video that I'll put out probably in a couple weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, is going to be around more practical budgeting, how to create a budget, how to track your finances, how to make a plan to go from where you currently are to where you want to be. And we'll see how today's video goes and how much time I feel like I have left after exploring the topic at hand. I'm also going to aim to answer some of your questions I received at the end of both videos. I figured just having a Q&A video might be kind of dull, so I'm going to include the relevant questions and answers in this video. The reason I love starting with beliefs is because I find that everything that we create from there, so our current financial situations, are a direct result of our beliefs. And if we go about just changing the situation without changing the core beliefs, we're missing a step. Both things are super important to change. The beliefs I actually find are more important, because when we change the way we think about a topic, the actions that are inspired within us change. So what I want you to do, and also I love this because what I'm envisioning is that if you feel inspired, you can work on this exercise over the next week or two, and then be in a place that I feel like you'll be ready for the next thing, to create a budget. I think it'll make creating or tracking your finances and creating a budget a lot more fun for you. And also, it's, again, just that root. So let's explore beliefs. Wow. If you are here, you probably have some beliefs about money that feel really crappy. They probably feel like, I don't have enough money, I can't do what I love and earn money. Money feels like a pain, it feels burdensome. I, on some level, don't feel worthy to have the kind of money that I want. Maybe I feel like having a lot of money isn't a spiritually evolved thing. Maybe I feel like, gosh, I don't even know what all your beliefs could be around money, but what I want you to do is get to really know them and write them down. Make a list of every belief. So let's just say any thought that you have that you notice comes up regularly or semi-regularly that doesn't feel good, that's around finances, money, wealth, or abundance in general in your life. And worth, value. It's interesting how language is so powerful, and this feeling of worth, value, abundance, so linked to monetary worth, value, abundance. And in most cases, directly so. Sometimes not, but in general. So as you notice these things, write them down. Sometimes people have trouble identifying a limiting belief because they don't even realize. They'll just feel kind of crappy, and we have to dig a little deeper. So I invite you to sort of play around with that. If you're noticing you're not feeling well all of a sudden, think about the thought that originated that feeling. What is it? And especially if you are paying your bills, maybe you notice you're feeling some anxiety. Maybe you're not able to pay your bills, you feel more anxiety. Whatever's coming up for you, start creating a list. I started this just creating a list on my phone in the notes on my phone because it's so simple and accessible anywhere. And I invite you to do this for a week, at least. Just take the whole week. Every time you notice a limiting belief, write it down. Then at the end of the week, go into each of those beliefs and write the exact opposite. So if it's like, I can't do what I love and make money, change it to, I can do what I love and make money. And then from there, so create your whole list of the exact opposite. Then from there, go in and really feel into the new belief you've created and make it even more juicy and develop it in ways that feel really good for you. So a belief like that might become something like, I love creating in ways I feel inspired to and sharing it with the world. Money flows easily and effortlessly into my experience. I always have plenty of money to do everything I desire to do. I love saving money. I have an abundance of savings that I can dream about what I want to do with. Just whatever those things are that really feel good and nurturing and juicy. And you can add to them too. So if you go through, you've seen all your limiting beliefs, you've created your new beliefs, and you feel like some other ones have been inspired, write those down. Then what I recommend doing is recording yourself saying them, and say them with feeling, like really say them and mean them. And if you're having trouble doing that, that's great because it just lets you know where you are in regards to where you want to be. And what it really feels like to me is where you are in relation with where your true heart's desires are or where you truly reside. I believe that everything that is true feels really good. So if something doesn't feel good, it's because it's not true. So if you have a belief that's not feeling good, it's because that's not the truth of who you are. And you can sense that discord and it feels so frustrating. And the results it produces in your life are frustrating, such as a lack of abundance or difficulty paying your bills or feeling held back or feeling like you're spending your time and energy doing things that you don't want to be doing, which by the way, has been programmed for most people since a young age. Like work as a have to. I mean, how often did we hear that from our parents at a really young age? You know, this feeling of, I know you don't want to, but you have to. Go to school, do your chores, do the work. I have to go to work. I don't want to go to work. I'd rather spend my whole day with you, but I have to. When that was our parents' belief, that's what they created as a reality. And it's to no fault of anybody's that we keep proliferating these. It's really a communal effort. And I think you're here because you know that you're wildly powerful and you can create something really different. So beliefs, affirmations, mantras, you've probably heard of them if you've been exploring self-growth and self-development. The reason that I really emphasize them here and when I work with clients and in my own life is because I find they really work. They really work. And most of the time, I find that people have resistance to doing them, which makes sense. And also, when they get over that hump and just start doing them, especially this, record the mantras, listen to them every day. Start your day that way. Start your day hearing your mantras or read them out loud to yourself. But say these new beliefs. The reason the old beliefs got in there is because we heard and said those over and over again. Do you ever find yourself saying something that you're like, why did I even just say that? Must just be something you've heard all the time. Well, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, actually it does. That's totally how money is created. So it's just, paying attention to what we're saying, what we're thinking, and then what it's creating. To change, we have to change on 3 levels: the thought, the word, the action. If we're able to do those 3 things, everything shifts. That's all it takes. Sometimes people can feel with affirmations like, yeah, but I don't really believe it, I'm just saying it. Well, play around with it. You know, see if you can be in that realm of kind of adopting a new role, like taking on a new identity for fun. Play around with it for a little bit. See if it becomes more of who you are. Another thing that can be really powerful is like, okay, well, the belief is having trouble changing. Now I'm practicing saying the new thing out loud. Take action. Take an action step that's powerful that if you had that belief, you would take. So I'm not talking about like doing wild, outlandish things that don't make sense for your current financial situation, but do something that does, and do something that's a way of saying, I value myself. And you are right now. You are by watching this video. So that's really the most powerful exercise I feel like I can give anyone around any area of resistance in their life. It's like, find out what the core beliefs are that are creating that resistance, write them down, change them, repeat, 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 create the new ones. And I've been doing this for probably about a year. I have mantras for each quarter, depending on what goals I'm currently working on in my life. Sometimes I change them up more often, like every month or 2 months. I listen to them every day. Honestly, they feel so good. And my life is changing radically all the time. And I'm finding that I live my beliefs now in a way that feel like my true beliefs, because I'm connected with how my heart really feels. And there's not that discord between like, I want something that I don't have. I really want what I have because I'm also empowering myself to create the life that I want. Does take radical self-responsibility to realize everything is really happening for me. I'm really the one in the driver's seat. I can always decide how I show up. The other thing I've mentioned I want to talk about in this video is intuition. And I'm going to talk about that more in the second video where we talk about financial planning a little bit. But intuition's really, you know, following that gut, following what really feels right for you and what your heart desires. I think it's a good place to bring in a couple of questions because intuition is coming through as my answer to them. I have the mindset that life is short and that I should use the resources I have to make me feel the most fulfilled as possible in this present moment, which sometimes for me shows up as not having that resource for security, if that makes sense. And somebody else asked, like, how do you know how much to use now versus save for the future? So this is one of those places where for me, I tap into my intuition. Both things feel important to me. I am very much a here and now person, very active, really love to be living a life that is exciting for me right now. I listened to this segment a while ago, I believe it was by Tony Robbins, and he talked about people who value freedom and people who value security. And we all value both of them somewhere on our scale of core values. And for me, freedom is really at the top, probably my top value. So for me, having the freedom to live the way I want right now feels highly important over the security of the future. That being said, I love both things. So I do both. And that's an area where I really invite you to feel out what feels alive for you. Everybody's ratio is going to be different. Sure, you could find some sort of financial advisor who would say, save X% of your income every month and put it away into an IRA or into, you know, this or that. But really, you know what's best for you. Feel it out. Does it make sense for you to save, say, 20%? Does it make sense for you to put it in a savings account? Do you want to be investing? Do you want long-term or short-term investments? What really makes sense for you? So I do think it's really important to do both, and it's really up to you to see what really jives with you there. Somebody asked for a guided meditation around freedom with plenty of affirmations around financial freedom. Well, creating your own affirmations, I think, is the most powerful way to do that. Maybe someday I'll also create that and share here. Meanwhile, yeah, the best way we can change our beliefs is by hearing them in our voice, reaffirming them. And if you want, you can add some nice music in the background while you do it. You can change the tone of your voice. Maybe you have one version that's really excited and you're pumped up, and maybe there's a version that's more soothing and spacious. Whatever you're wanting to invite into your life right now. This question, I want to know how you work efficiently in your business. How do you make the decisions of what is best for your business so as to not waste time on things that won't serve it? It's a great question. And again, intuition is a big part of my answer that comes up. When I am working in my business, I center myself first. Self-care, our practices, our daily rituals are so intertwined in everything we do. Everything I do is heart-led. Everything I do is a spiritual practice. It's so essential for me to live that way and to be in that state when I'm creating for business, to be in that state before I drop into a video and share energy with you, and to be in that state in general when I create in my life. If I don't feel calm, centered, grounded, connected, inspired, I'm really just focused on ways to get back to that space. I'm just, journaling, doing movement, listening to my mantras. I don't waste my time by spending time in my life not in a state of balance. And of course it comes up every so often, or I feel like I'm just having an off day and my things aren't quite getting me back to that state, but it's pretty rare. My main practice in life is to get into and to be in a state of love and inspiration, excitement, to really be in my power. There's so much I'm excited to share about around this topic. Like I said, the next video is going to be more of the practical steps. Please, I invite you to do this first practice. I'll also link an exercise that outlines how to do this down below. There's a ton of exercises like this, by the way, on the membership site that Connor and I have, so you could check that out too. Just exercises for personal growth in all areas. And yes, I'm so happy to be here with you. Please feel free to put down your questions below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah.